Welcome one, welcome all to the Banter Ball Podcast. As Jim Nance would say, hello, friends. Because the Masters has started today, and I actually did not get the time to put a Masters question in this because, being quite honest, I forgot they were started today as we record this. But I'm very excited for that. I don't know really who's in it, but it's going to be very exciting. We love golf.
I think Tiger is commentating.
No, Tiger is
playing. Even in it.
He's playing?
He's playing, yeah. He's
I
even
thought he was
right now.
Commentating or something.
No, he's even. He's even.
All right.
Good for him.
Well, the two gentlemen have already talked that I'm with. Obviously, the always wonderful Korey Moore and Brennan Kirkpatrick are with me.
What's up?
I'm going to explain y'all the rules in about 2 seconds. So I'm going to give them a 25-minute timer, and I'm going to ask them a question as the timer starts. And they have 25 minutes to get 10 questions correct. If not, we'll go to a speed round, and it's a fun little speed round I came up with today. If they agree on the question, they get a minute to talk about it. If they disagree, they both get 35 each, and then a minute 30 to hopefully come to an agreement. All right, gentlemen, I think we are ready to go. Let's choose a question here.
Oh my gosh, we are breezing through that.
We're getting right. We're getting right into it.
Okay.
We'll start right at the top with our first baseball question here. There is some serious concern that the pitch clock in baseball is resulting in some pitchers getting injured at a faster rate than normal. Do you think a balance can be struck between the two, or can only one side win? Timer has started, gentlemen, and I get one answer. And I don't really necessarily know what that means. So Korey has said only one side can win, and it should be player health. And another one, and Brennan said it can be struck because it needs to be struck. So is that an agreement, I would say?
No. He's saying that that a balance can be struck between the two.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then let's let Brennan go first. 35.
All right. So I said a balance can be struck because it needs to be struck. Look, I'm all for the pitch clock. I think it's probably one of the best things baseball has done with these new rule changes, making the game faster. Fans have been in the stands. The attendance is up. It's going great for baseball. However, the downsides of it is the pitching and the arms. We've seen so many pitchers this season, going back to last year, get hurt too. And it's just not a good thing. But I think what you need to do, you need to slow down the pitch clock to significantly slower, but you still need to have it in place so it can baseball can still be successful.
Your time is up. Give me about 2 seconds to give Korey his time. I'm sorry. My headphones aren't disconnected from my phone. Korey, you get 35 seconds to start it. Go.
Okay, so I would take it a little bit further, Brennan. I think that only one side can win on these, and I do think that it has to be the player health that needs to be prioritized. I love the pitch clock. I've gone on this show and said I've loved the pitch clock because it makes things better for me as a fan. But the reality of the situation is there's so many things going on that makes the game more dangerous for pitchers, whether that be starting at a young age and like training them to throw like breaking balls and stuff, or their recent crackdown on foreign substances and such. It's hard to play the game as a pitcher, and it's going to be dangerous if you put that pitch clock in play. That's something that can be changed by the MLB.
We definitely read the same
Minute 30,
article.
gentlemen.
We definitely read the same article there, which is kind of funny.
Oh, yeah?
I think we did because I remember the sticky substances stuff, but the big thing I took away was the velocity is up too, right?
Yeah.
And
that makes sense to me because the standards of baseball are just going to be increasing. I mean, you want the game to improve, and so players are held to a higher standard as far as pitching goes.
I think what needs to happen, though, and I don't know if you can get behind this, I think, and I agree with you, what I want to do is ideally you would stop with all these specializations at a younger age and just let these kids pitch, because what we've seen from that is with the pitch clock, plus everything added on, the specialization of these kids, plus the heat that they're throwing right now. I mean, what the average fastball sits around 96, 97 compared to like 15 years ago, it was like 94, 95. So it's gone up. I think the pitch clock, for the sake of baseball and it surviving, I think you need to have something in the game like that. But I can't agree with you where I think it needs to be like slowed down by a good margin. And what they did this year was slowing it down or making it faster, like
That's a huge problem.
That was a huge problem.
So my issue is you say, we should try cracking down on the other parts. I think that those are things that the MLB can't directly change. What the MLB can change is their involvement in this. So I do think there should not be any added pressure by the MLB. So I don't really see there being a world where a pitch clock really works. But I do agree for next season, we start by slowing it by 5 or 6 seconds. I think that would be a set.
I agree that's a start. I agree with the start. I was never a fan of the pitch clock to begin with, but after seeing what it does, I'm like, it is kind of like a gray area. Like you kind of have to have it for the sake of the game, but at the same time, it's like
now that it's here, we can slow it down 5 or 6 seconds. I agree with you.
Sure,
but I think we have to look towards player health as the
primary. So you guys agree with that. You guys agree that it should stay, but it should maybe become more lax than it is currently.
I agree. It needs to be a starting point. It needs to be a starting point.
Okay. Alrighty. We'll move down to, I know my favorite sport here is the National Basketball Association. We love basketball here. Should the Bucks be concerned with the recent skid they are on, particularly with the bad losses to Memphis, Toronto, and Washington? If so, what is the reason for this skid?
Oh man, there's something else to be concerned about.
Heavily big answers here. Oh, we have completely different answers. All right, we will let Korey go first.
Okay, so I'm willing to write this off as just being part of one of their slumps because they just beat the Celtics, they just beat the Magic. So, I mean, they've had a lot of really bad slumps this year. What I can't really write off is that Giannis just got injured and he may miss the first playoff series here. If he does miss that first playoff series and they're playing either the Miami Heat or the Philadelphia 76ers, there's going to be a huge problem for Milwaukee. So that's what you got to be worrying about because in that kind of situation, you're going to need big games from Chris Middleton every night, and you're going to need big games from Bobby Portis like you've been seeing in the recent, and you're going to need Defensive Player of the Year type play from Brook Lopez. So I'd be concerned about Giannis's injury.
That's a fair point there, Korey. Brennan's turn is now started.
Okay, so I said they should be scared, and a big reason why I said they should be scared is because of Giannis's injury. But it's not just Giannis's injury. This whole team, it seems like because of all the injuries they've had this season, they're playing a scared type of basketball that's limiting them. Like they're playing soft because it feels like they're afraid to get hurt. Like Chris Middleton getting clocked in the face the other game doesn't help. Of course, Giannis's calf injury, and Patrick Beverley, of course, missed a couple games with multiple injuries to his arm. I think his foot or something like that, but something with his leg. But they just need to realize that injuries are a part of the game, and they just need to start playing like they know how to.
All right.
So,
all right, minute 30, gentlemen.
Brennan, when you talk about them playing soft, like what actions in specific are you talking about?
Like the game as a whole. I mean, like
what are they doing that you see as soft that they're running away from injuries and such?
The defense, especially. I mean, I know it's improved under Doc Rivers, but especially now and looking at the offense, it's just not. They're just not playing good fundamental ball because they're playing soft. They need to get more physical like they have been doing in the past.
I honestly, I don't think that's your top concern. I think your top concern is the exact opposite of trying to keep people healthy right now. Because if they already lost,
and I agree, they need to keep players healthy. But if they want to succeed, like maybe now you play soft for like a couple games of the regular season. Do they have the 2 seed clinched up, right? Like that's a lot.
It's not clinched. They might lose
clinched?
it to Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando's the 5 seed right now. Holy crap!
No, they're the 3, I think, right?
No, Orlando's the 5. The Knicks are the 3.
Okay, well the Knicks might take it too.
The Knicks, okay. Well,
because what?
It depends.
It's a 2 game.
20 seconds, gentlemen.
It's 1.5. But no, I can agree with you the Giannis, but I think like the injuries as a whole, they need to just stay healthy and start getting back to their brand of basketball. Like especially towards the playoffs.
Stay healthy, but the concern is that Giannis is injured. They need to figure out how to play with him being injured. Agreed?
I can get behind that. I agree.
Is up.
I agree.
2.
All right, so we get another agreement. We are 2 for 2. Let's go ahead and let's. You guys want to stick in basketball, but different sort of league here?
Okay.
Sure. So we just saw UConn beat Purdue. I believe 70 to or something, some whatever score. They beat them by like 15. What was the biggest reason for UConn's historic victory in a back-to-back fashion in the tournament?
All right.
Okay. I think that's a disagreement. I'll let Brennan go first.
Okay. So one of the big reasons why they went back-to-back is because they didn't get complacent. All right. Dan Hurley did an amazing job keeping a ton of guys, but they also added pieces. Cam Spencer was a huge part of that run. That bringing back Tristan Newton was huge. Alex Caravan was huge. And hats off to Hurley. He did a tremendous job with this team this season. He kept them humble. He kept them from saying, hey, I know we won it last year, but we want it again this year. Let's go out. Let's play fundamental basketball. Let's go win this thing. And he did. I think it's a lot to do with the coaching, a lot of just not staying the same. And they didn't get complacent. They won.
All right, let's let Korey go now.
Yeah, I 100% agree as far as the roster building goes and not being complacent for roster building. Because what I focused on was the roster building in general. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, Donovan Clingan, he's a great player. But the good thing about UConn, the awesome thing about UConn is that they don't need to utilize him 100% of the time to make things happen. They have a lot of players who are all very tall for their position. We're all very skilled. They have a wide variety of different ways to use their players. And they have a wide variety of age groups. They have a strong distribution as far as that goes. So they built a very complete roster.
Yeah.
Time is up. You gentlemen have 1:30.
And the reason they built a complete roster was because of they retained the guys, they brought new guys in, they did everything because they didn't want to get complacent. They wanted to win back to back.
I agree entirely. They did a great job building this roster.
Tremendous
improving
job.
It from last year.
Yeah. Because they lost, I think, 2 or 3 guys to the draft, right?
They did, yeah, and they still were able to. They were still able to win back to back.
They just made things happen. Built a very well-rounded.
All right, and then that's a quick little agreement there. So we will continue. Let's go to the wonderful sport of the NFL. We got the draft coming up pretty soon here. Which team do you think should try their best to trade up this year in the draft?
All right.
Let's see what kind of answers we get.
We agree.
Denver Broncos. Oh, we got an agreement here. Denver Broncos. You guys get 1 minute. Go ahead.
All right, so we talked about the Denver Broncos. This is my favorite team. Honestly, what choice do they have right now, Brennan?
Yep.
Our quarterbacks are Jared Stidham and Ben DiNucci.
That's right. They desperately need a quarterback right now. It's not even funny. They need to go up. They need to get. I don't know if they need to get they need to get a top 3 guy. They need to go get like a.
I'd be okay if we get like a top 5. If we can get the Cardinals pick, I know
that's going to be huge. You should definitely try and get that.
Yeah, if we could try to get the Cardinals pick, I was reading something about how that might be possible.
Although
maybe get Drake May.
It might be tough. You might need to trade up into the top 3 because the Bears, the Commanders, and the Patriots 1, 2, 3. Some tell me they're all going quarterback. That's the toughest part about trading up. But I feel like if you can do it, the Broncos would be in good spot.
I don't know, but we could probably still get Drake in that situation, though.
We'll see. I don't know. The Commanders, they don't have a quarterback either. It's tough, but I agree they need to trade up.
But we do need to trade up because right now there are no other options.
Absolutely, they need to trade up.
Ben DiNucci, Pine Richmond legend there. That's a good little agreement you guys have. All right, let's go back to baseball. What is the reason for the Marlins' slow start after a playoff appearance last year?
Okay.
Let me do some baseball here.
I do like this question.
Yeah?
I do like this question.
Hold on.
Okay, we got an answer from Korey.
Brennan is typing.
Brennan's taking his sweet time to answer here.
Okay, Brennan.
I think with that response, we have a disagreement. We will let Brennan go first.
Okay. So I said injuries, and the team was really never that good. So almost their entire pitching rotation, which is the strength of this team, is out due to injury. Sandy Alcantara, the Cy Young winner, is out for the season. Yuri Perez is out for the season. Braxton Garrett is currently hurt. Edward Cabrera is currently hurt. JT Chargois, or however you pronounce that name, he's a solid bullpen arm. He's also out. They've also have not been great in the field. This team was not great last year. Skip Schumacher was all right, but an 84-win team that snuck into the wild card, this team was kind of due for a decline.
All right. Let's let Korey have his juice here.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Before I get into my side, I will say the fielding errors are huge. I think they're fourth in the league in fielding errors right now this year.
Yep.
They have like 11. So that's a huge problem. But I think their problem right now is their offensive decline. You talk about how they weren't good last year. They were 6th in the league in hits last year. They were 5th overall in batting average. Right now, that's just not happening at all. They are incredibly regressed, and that's because Luis Arias, who was the National League batting champion last year, he has decreased from a .35 to a .25, and that regression is going to be a huge problem.
All right, minute and 30, gentlemen.
I think you're making excuses by talking about injuries here, Brennan.
I mean, when you take out a Cy Young pitcher, Yuri Perez, who did I say, Edward Cabrera, those are 3 legitimate top-end talents that you lost like that. And I mean, come on. And I agree with you with the offensive decline. Luis Arias, it was bound to happen. All right. And I don't want to say he carried that team to a high batting average and a lot of hits, but he was a singles hitter. Stats, I want to know, how many runs did they score? How many home runs did they hit?
Yeah.
How many RBIs? Were they producing?
That's another thing. I do have that last year they did have they were 26th in runs last year, so they weren't really capitalizing.
So they weren't capitalized.
But the thing is that this year they're in a similar production as far as runs go, but they're not hitting at the same rate at all. They are now 22nd in hits. So
it kind of doesn't matter. So it's the same thing. Like, you're getting on base, but you're not scoring runs.
Yes, but what needs to be happening to compensate for those injuries is that we need to be having those hits, because right now they would be scoring runs if they had those hits, because they're scoring runs at the same rate without hitting at all. So if they didn't
I just don't think. No, they did regress offensively, and I think the team as a whole has regressed the team as a whole has regressed in general.
Yeah, they lost some people to free agency.
Like, Avisail Garcia should not be starting every day. I mean, Jake Berger, shout out to him. He's playing pretty well. But can you agree that the team as a whole, like, especially this year with the injuries and the defense, I mean, the errors, that, like, just the team as a whole has regressed?
The team has regressed, but I don't. Okay, fine.
Yeah. All right, we agree.
So is that an agreement? Okay.
I mean, the question was, why did they regress, Brennan? And the answer is because of the offense is not stepping up to the plate when they need to be.
All right, gentlemen. Let's continue here. Come on. If you want to get some points on the board. Let's go to our favorite sport in the league, that is hockey. We love hockey here at the Banter Ball Podcast.
Only sport without a ball.
Yep. 1993, can you believe it, was the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup. 4 currently have playoff spots locked in for the party. They got the Jets, the Canucks, the Oilers, and the Maple Leafs. Is this the year the country up north brings the trophy home? If so, who will do that?
Welcome to the Banter Puck
Oh,
podcast.
We get an agreement.
Banter Puck.
No.
Yeah, okay.
1 minute.
All
right. This is an easy answer, Brennan.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 3 teams in the Western Conference that I don't think are getting past Dallas. And then the only team that I think can compete with Dallas is Toronto, who has a much harder time making it to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Toronto always chokes in the playoffs. Yeah, they haven't won anything since the 60s. And the same thing this year, because the Eastern Conference is loaded.
They have Carolina, they have
Boston, the Rangers, even a couple of the wild card teams.
I still have the
Rangers. Rangers gonna be good. I mean, Florida Panthers, they've fallen off as of late, but they're still in there. Like, Toronto, I don't think they're getting out. And the Western Conference teams, I mean, Winnipeg, I just don't think has the offense to get through it.
I mean, good luck to one of those Western Conference teams in getting past Dallas. I don't think it's happening.
Dallas is just
and then if you have to then play again against one of those Eastern Conference powerhouses, because it's not going to be Toronto, then you have yourself a problem.
Sure. Exactly. Gentlemen, fun fact: last year was the first time that the Toronto Maple Leafs have won a playoff series in our lifetime. Let's continue.
That's true.
Let's go to is that 6? I believe.
Yeah.
You guys could get past the speed round here. If you guys.
All right, let's keep it.
Boys, a scary speed round.
We'll go to the NBA. Which team, not named the Golden State Warriors, should look to add Klay Thompson in the offseason? Because I know there's a chance that he might move off from them next year. So let's see what the audience says. We get the OKC, we get the Magic. Let's get to Brennan first.
All right, so I said the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Listen, this is a great young team that the brink of being one of the best teams in the league for a long time. Adding Thompson, you add a veteran presence. He's won the championship multiple times, so he brings championship pedigree to that locker room. He can space the floor, shoot and catch release threes really well. That's something they need to build around, especially with Banchero and Franz Wagner. And on top of that, they have the ability to pay them because they're not paying a lot of their younger stars right now. So they could bring in Klay Thompson for a guy on his back end of his career, and he could help the young guys move this team forward.
Righty, Korey, your turn.
Okay, so I said Oklahoma City for similar reasons, that they're a young team. They can bring in veteran leadership, and I personally think it's a perfect situation for Klay Thompson. My issue with Orlando is that the big three that Orlando has right now of Suggs and Banchero and Franz Wagner is right what Klay Thompson would be playing as, whereas OKC has a player that can easily be replaced, moved to the bench, which is Josh Giddey. I think Josh Giddey's skills would be used better off the bench because he's a very versatile player. I think Klay could fit in right in for him and make things happen.
All right. Right on time. Gentlemen, you get minute 30.
So do you think Klay should be starting? I mean, probably. He's at the back end of his career, so
I think if he comes into OKC and he starts, then he and Dort can have a really nice wing presence of shooting threes and playing good defense. And I think as far as for him, because he said that he's prioritizing his mental health and comfort in a.
He also said he didn't want to leave Golden State too. So
sure, I understand that. But my point is if he is leaving, then he's going to be trying to leave to a comfortable situation where he feels empowered and he feels happy. And I feel like in OKC, he's going to get that a little bit more than Orlando.
I mean, Orlando,
and they could actually compete and contend. I don't think
Orlando
is there.
Orlando is the happiest place on earth. Well, has the happiest place of earth there.
It's also the most chaotic place on earth.
That's true, but they call it the most happiest. But I think he could fit right in with Orlando too. I mean, I feel like they're not in the same. They're kind of in the same boat as Oklahoma City. I mean, Oklahoma City is a better team by far.
That's my thing, is that Oklahoma City is better, and I still maintain that I think there's a perfect position for Klay to slot in at, which is in that shooting guard position. Move Giddey to the bench so that he can be grabbing those triple-doubles off the bench as a bit of a six-man, make things happen. I don't think you're getting that kind of amazing, perfect environment in Orlando.
I don't know. I mean,
I do think it could work. I just like OKC better if they can make the salaries work.
Okay. But I think we have an agreement here that it's like a young team who's on the brink of.
Yeah, we have the same kind of idea.
We have the same kind of idea. So we can agree a young team who needs a veteran presence.
They can get a veteran prospect, and he can get some energy from the young guys.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. So is that what we are agreeing on, gentlemen?
Yep.
Yes.
Number
7 points.
Yeah.
Orlando, Florida, very famous for the place where I lost my wallet. So great place.
That's right.
Yeah.
What a day that was.
Yeah, let's go right to our last baseball question. And give me a moment here. Sorry about that. The entire Oakland athletic situation has been a disgrace to sport of baseball. That's just personally what I think. That's what a lot of you guys think. For example, they have sent some of their players down to the minors for wearing wristbands in protest of their move to Sacramento and then eventually Vegas. Do you think the league should have some overreach in situations like these, or should it be left to the owner and the city?
Is this referring to the relocation, or is it referring to the calling down of players?
I kind of took it as like, location?
I mean, it could be both, but...
Wait, so you're talking about relocation?
Kind of the entire situation in general. Do you think that there should be some overreach?
Okay. I want to talk about it, so I'm going to say no and yes.
Okay, then we get... We'll let Korey go first.
What do you mean by yes?
I do think that they need to step in as far as the players go, but not as far as relocation.
All right. Then let's let Korey go first, then, if he's so eager to talk.
Okay, so I don't think that they need to step in with relocation. They favor larger markets. We already saw that in the way they voted. So if they stepped in, that wouldn't solve any problems as far as that goes. Now, as far as if Oakland actually is taking down players, moving down Ruiz specifically because of the wristbands that he's wearing, then the MLB needs to come in and protect its players. I think that this could be a catalyst, not to be over-exaggerating, but this could be a catalyst to, if an abusive situation is happening at an organization, this is the same kind of precedent for the MLB to turn their heads away and look the other way. I think they need to step in and defend their players in this case.
All righty, Brennan, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't think the MLB shouldn't have should be in control of what happens, but I think they at least need to have a say in something. Like, they can't be the final factor, right? Like, because that's the ball club, that's the city, the markets, whatever. And then, of course, the MLB favors the larger markets. The move to Vegas, as much as it sucks for Oakland and baseball, I think it's the right move. But with the players being called down, I agree with Korey that, like, if there's something happening there, it needs to be addressed, and there needs to be some sort of investigation that needs to happen as we go into the minute 30 here. But
yeah,
that's 100% what I said, was that there needs to be an investigation. The one thing I'm questioning you on, you said as far as like a final say, is that specifically on relocation or is that on everything? Because I do think that the MLB needs to be the final say on whether or not these players could be bumped down for this kind of reasoning. Because honestly, the reasoning that Oakland gave of being like, he's not getting on base enough, but he's super impactful when he gets on base, that doesn't make any sense.
See, it doesn't make any sense. But it's kind of like a gray area, because I feel like it would be kind of hard to prove. I 100% agree with you, and we can count that as an agreement. But I just want to keep going. It's going to be tough to prove that. Like, in an investigation,
there just
the
needs
true
to be some
intentions
kind of
that.
pressure of being like, hey, you can't treat your players like this. If you are treating your players like this can't be what it is. We need to defend our players' rights to speak out towards different issues, especially since the MLB is a super international league and everything like that. You need to be able to speak out against some
that, or the players' union needs to go and investigate it. One of the two.
Exactly. There needs to be something done. So I think that the Oakland should not have full reign over this kind of situation right now.
They shouldn't in that situation. Now, if they purely called or demoted him for play on the field, then that's a different story.
But the MLB is allowed to question. Is all.
That's what I'm saying. You can question that move.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of turned the shot clock off for you guys, but that isn't the point. I think that's 8. Unfortunately, it ran out of time, so we're not going to do a perfect 10 for 10 like me and Brennan did that one time.
Can't we get another question? There's a couple good questions on here.
You guys ran right through it, unfortunately. So we're going to have to move on to the speed round with 8 points. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're doing 6 degrees of separation. If you don't know what this means, essentially I'm going to give them 2 different players that are not currently teammates or have been teammates before, and their job is to connect them through teammates in 6 teammates or less. So for an example, my example I gave them was LeBron and Jokic. How would you connect them? They both played with KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So that's kind of the idea we got here. So I have 2 NBA ones, I have 2 NFL ones, and I have an MLB one. And I think I'm going to start with
a lot, so should be fine.
So, and I'm going to give them 5 minutes flat for all opportunity of answering all these questions. So you got 5 minutes. I think you guys are probably going to do better than you think you're going to do.
I'm really scared of this one.
All right.
I just don't. I'm scared for the unknown. Like, if it turns out to be easy, then it's whatever.
All right. I will start with what I think is the easiest one, and that's Reggie White. You guys know who Reggie White is, please.
Yeah.
Okay. To Garrett Wilson. Go ahead.
Reggie White. All right.
Okay. So Garrett Wilson has played with
He's played with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers. I think that's got to be Aaron Rodgers, because he's like the oldest guy on the team, right?
Yeah. So, we can connect to other people who've connected. So
yeah. So
has he played with Aaron? Has Reggie White?
I think he has played with Aaron. He
Rodgers?
played for the Packers.
He did not play with Aaron Rodgers, though.
He did not play with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. So name a player. So let's think of players who.
Did he play with Brett Favre? Aaron Rodgers played with Brett Favre. Was that?
He played with Favre. That's the route I had.
Awesome.
So that works.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
That's one point. We will go to the NBA one.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. This is not
we
my
got
strong suit.
Jeremy Sohan, the second best player on the Spurs, to Domantas Sabonis.
Okay, so we've got players
right.
on the Spurs.
On the Spurs.
That Sohan has played with. I'm thinking, I'm obviously not like Wembanyama.
No.
I'm thinking, did Sohan play with DeJounte Murray, perhaps?
DeJounte Murray with the Spurs?
That's the
I
question.
believe that's correct.
He's
yeah, that's correct. Okay, so he played with the Spurs.
I don't know if he played with them, if they overlapped, but I don't know if that matters. Now DeJounte
Definitely does.
Now DeJounte, we can then link.
But he played for the Rockets? No.
No, DeJounte's on Atlanta.
He's on the Atlanta, yeah.
I believe they did overlap. Jeremy Sohan and DeJounte Murray.
Sure.
So they played for them, and then didn't Bojan Bogdanovic play for the Hawks, or one of the brothers,
yes.
or one of those?
So,
yes. So and then I think Bojan.
Oh wait, no. Bogdan played.
Bogdan, and then Bogdan played for the Pacers with Sabonis, right?
No. Bogdan did not play with the Pacers. Bojan played with the Pacers.
Did the Bogdanovic players play with each other? I know they're not brothers.
No, I don't think they did. Oh man. Okay. What's another?
I can give you guys another one if you want to try that.
Yeah. What's another NBA one? What's the other NBA?
Sure.
NBA
this
one?
one's a little harder, I think.
Okay.
DeMar DeRozan to Clyde Drexler.
Oh wow. So DeMar, he's played with a few teams here. We can link. Okay, so I think what we got to do is we got to link DeMar DeRozan back to Kyle Lowry, who we can then link to a rocket, and then maybe we can get that rocket to the moon.
It's not the route I took.
I'm not sure though.
Do we want to go to the other NFL one? I can't help you with this.
Do you feel confident about NFL?
I can do MLB. Well, what's the MLB one?
MLB. You want the MLB one? You guys have 2 minutes.
All
the
right.
MLB one is Garrett Cole to Jazz Chisholm.
Garrett Cole to Jazz Chisholm. He's a guy in the Marlins. All right. So Garrett Cole played with Josh Bell, who played with Jazz Chisholm.
I'm going to double check. I'm not sure if they overlap.
Right.
Here, pause the timer because I think it's right. I think Bell and Cole played with each other. Josh Bell should have played with Jazz Chisholm on the Marlins.
I don't know if Josh Bell played with Garrett Cole, actually.
I don't think he did. He started with the Pirates in 2016, and then Garrett Cole.
Wait, Josh Bell. Garrett Cole was traded after the end of 2017. So Josh Bell
that
would
works.
have played.
Yeah, that works.
Yes, Brennan! Hell yeah, buddy. Okay, how did we get from DeMar DeRozan to Clyde Drexler? Please tell me.
You want to figure this is the route I did. So DeMar in Toronto played with Chris Bosh, and then Chris Bosh played with Vince Carter.
DeMar played with Chris Bosh? I feel like I knew that, but I didn't think about that.
Apparently not. And then Chris Bosh played with Vince Carter, and then that 1 year Hakeem played with Vince Carter in Toronto, and then Hakeem played with Clyde. And then the NBA one, the other NBA one, the Sohan one, I had Jeremy Sohan to Devontae Graham to Malik Monk to Domantas Sabonis.
Okay. What was the route you took for Garrett Cole and Jazz Chisholm?
I just added Andrew McCutcheon. I didn't realize that he didn't. I thought they didn't overlap.
Okay.
So you guys took the exact same route I did.
Okay.
And then I did. You guys just want the extra NFL one just for funds here?
Yeah, why not?
Ben Roethlisberger to Terrell Owens. This is the longest one I had.
Oh shit! All right, so retired. Big Ben, he played with Terrell Owens. Played with a lot of different teams.
Yeah, I mean,
no, James Harrison wasn't there when T.O. was a Bengal.
I mean, who's a player on the Steelers that played with Ben Roethlisberger that played with a lot of different teams?
Well, Terrell Owens is old, so this is like 2000s guys. Because T.O. or 90s, maybe 90s.
Sure,
90s.
but I'm just saying you could go maybe to like an Antonio Brown or a Le'Veon Bell to get to a different team who can then link to somebody.
Oh, wait, idea. Is it Ben Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown? Played with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown played with Tom Brady.
Sure.
Tom Brady that was Randy Moss. Tom Brady played with a bunch of different guys. I feel like this is the route we go.
That's Terrell Owens.
Yeah, no, I know Brady played with Moss. Randy Moss. Is he on here? Randy Moss played for the Raiders?
Korey, do you want to think about this anymore?
Oh,
It seems that Brennan is at a.
I don't know what's going on, man. I'm lost. I said Antonio Brown. I had his brainwaves going, and now I'm stuck.
Oh, he's looking things up. He's cheating.
Brennan,
I'm just looking to see what teams T.O. played for.
Okay, so you're cheating. This is what you're doing.
I don't know. I may have to disqualify a point from you guys.
No, you don't, Brennan. Stop looking it up. We're good. 10
I
points.
stopped like
10
5 seconds
agreements.
ago.
We're doing great.
What's the route?
Okay, this is the route I did. So I said Brendan Roethlisberger played with Devin Bush, who played with Tyler Lockett, who played with Russell Wilson, who played with Marshawn Lynch, who was
on the Bills team.
Who was on the Bills team with
Terrell
Terrell Owens. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's 6 on the dot. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 6.
Marshawn
I
Lynch,
got
a
6.
player I actually know.
There you go. All right. Well, that's all the ones I had prepared. We can have fun with that later. But that has been Banter Ball. We went off a little longer than we maybe should have. But I've been your host, Kyle, and I always really been enjoying my wonderful co-hosts, Korey and Brennan, whichever way they are next to me. Nice job today, gentlemen.
Yep.
10 points.
Yep. All right. Let's go. We get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All righty. Well,
Farewell.
I will see you gentlemen
Yep. See
next week. Bye-bye.